So just like the Domio advert, today is the day. The day that everyone in southwest Wales, I'm guessing everyone in the UK that has had nothing but rain and wet and the odd day of sun has been waiting for, that makes hay. It's like 8 or 9 good days. But whether that's actually going to happen or not is another thing, because the BBC, Met Office, they changed their mind just like, I don't know, the weather. Absolutely bloody useless. So we are going to try and knock down the majority of the farm for hay. We were going to try haylage, but with the weather and the amount of extra work it is for the haylage, we're just going to stick with hay. So everything that we have to knock down is all old lay meadow grass, very low sugar, perfect for horses that sort of quite colicky, quite easy and laminitic. We're looking forward to it. The crops this year are massive. It's been that combination of like the heat and then wet for the last 6 months, but we did have one little spell earlier on in the year. We risked it to make haylage and it actually came to hay. We got the bales in the shed the next day, everything went out. So we're hoping within the next sort of 6 days we're going to be making a few thousand bales. They're already sold, everything's sold before we made it, which is nice and not nice all at the same time, because you never know if you're going to make or not. So that's it. We're going to get a contractor in to mow, Haylage Jones, who's a local contractor here, Mr. John Deere himself. I think one day we'll change him over to the Red Army and get him in just to knock it down. We do have a mower, it's a drum mower that is not very big, and it will take me nearly the whole day to knock down what we've got, when it's going to take Haylage only a few hours to get everything done. We do use the drum mower occasionally if we're really pushed for time and there's a chance for a bit of drizzle maybe on the first or second day. We'll use a drum mower because it doesn't crimp up the grass and it doesn't allow that bit of moisture to get in. But with the weather that we've got showing, conditioners aren't going to make any difference at all. All it's going to do is speed up the process of making the hay. So that's the plan. We have got quite a few big days ahead of us, which we're really looking forward to. Oh, we also have a new tractor turning up. We've sold the 275. The gentleman was kind enough to say, if you need it for your hay, then keep it until it's gone. So hopefully we won't now, this new tractor turning up. The only thing is my old man's going to have to go and get some bar to sort of redo the headstock, because it's a different headstock to what we're using. We're using a Euro 8, so he's going to have to modify the one that's on the new tractor. Yeah, just a lot to get ready, a lot to get done. The sheds are ready, the kit's all ready, everything is kept inside over winter, and then we check everything on early in the season. Just going to get ready to go. So I think everyone who has got this week who does conventional bales is going to be flying on it. Everyone with their old Joneses, New Hollands, Masseys, John Deere balers, they're all going to be flying on it. I really hope to God that we get the weather, because these boys are passionate about it like we are about the hay, and we just want to get it in and have some good weather. With the bike, I have absolutely no idea if you're going to be able to hear this or not, but Haylage has just finished doing the 2 fields, well, field and a paddock, over by the stables. Little paddock which the horses never got onto, which grew up quite nicely, so we'll possibly make haylage on that, which would be nice to get a few hundred of those whacked out again, because I really don't want to make much. And just going to get the gates ready for him for these fields. Now this field, 6 acres, something like that, as you can see it looks like a lawn here, because the early bit that we got done, I needed to knock a bit off so I had some grass for the goats, because they're going to end up just jumping into the hay fields if they haven't got anything. They don't want to be in the sheds. The weather's nice now, obviously when the weather's really bad they can't stay out. But I just need to go up and get these double gates done, because there's 2 fields here and then there's more fields across the way, and then we'll have to get the tedder on once this bit of a dew comes off and get Ted in. So like I said, now waiting for Alid to turn up and get this bit done, and some fields over the far side. Price this weather and a half different to what we've been having here. It's nice, the ground's going to dry up quite nicely. The ground is still quite soft. Like, he's got pretty cleaty tyres on his tractor, quite a lot of deep tread, and it is marking the ground, so there's, yeah, it is quite soft. But then it was raining, not yesterday, the day before, and then before that 2 weeks of rain, so the ground's going to be soft, and that's it. There's not a lot you can do about it. Just got to make hay while the sun shines, and there should be plenty to be made. Like I said, 2,000 we'd like to get down, and we've got the weather to do it. Like I said before, that's why we've got the conditioners coming in. There's showing no chance of rain, and not to sound like a broken record, but we have to, farmers, put our trust in the weather forecast, and they haven't got a clue most of the time. They are absolutely useless, especially when your livelihood depends on the weather. They might show 10 days brilliant, then it goes to 5 days, okay, we can just about make it, and then it goes to rain on the second day and you're snookered. Then rain on the third day, absolutely knackered, goes dusty and crap, and you haven't got a saleable product of any quality. And I say all the grass here is old, they meadow hay, and a real heavy downpour just knocks it flat, which is annoying. It is a bloody shame. And the other problem we've had this year and last year, thinking about it, is ferns coming out 5-6 foot into the field. So what, like here, we actually go round, I go around every night and I pull them out. The roots are only sort of that big and they're easy enough to pull out, but they just keep encroaching and then looking up on everything with weed killers and what have you. They are going to be making, well, the weed killer that they're going to be that we use for ferns, I think by 2022 it's all changing and it's going to be illegal. You can't use it anymore, it's too damaging to the environment. When right here you just go, you know, sort of a 5 foot spray around the outside on the quad and that's it. But we won't be able to do that, so what I usually do then is just go around with a little 6 foot topper, top just the headland, get that down, and then you can get them all as they're coming fresh, and that seems to do the job. I guess we just have to wait now for Ali to turn up and get these two down. I just want to show them because there's a horrible pinch, the sun's bright now, horrible pinch in the bottom of the quarry field. I come up the side. The other thing is I've got to think about, because we're not a big farm, we do have sheep, the goats are going. There's a specialty sale down Whitland. It's a coloured sheep and goat sale. We are going to be getting rid of the goats down there. So we have pulled up to another hay field, the last one, and Alid is absolutely flying, to be fair, and doing a cracking job as always. And this is the last field that we want to get mowed. Oh dear, saw the handbrake work. And again, this one is gorgeous old meadow hay. It's here, it's real light fluffy stuff. I don't know if you can see over there, but Alid is mowing off in the distance over there to, I can't remember how big that field is. I think that one's just 6, so he's done the shed field and the quarry field. This one we just call the far hay field. And on the bank, we had already done that just to get something down, because everything's weather dependent. We've got to have some sort of product to sell. Like I said, we did in fact get some done. I don't know if you can hear me with this wind. It's nice to have the wind because it's going to help dry, because we're sat at about 18 degrees now. But yeah, the beauty of getting that bit done is we had something for the bank, which was nice. But also something that was brilliant is as soon as it went in the shed the next day or the day after, then they were loaded back on the trailers and delivered. We had to get them off the trailers because of the rain, and we didn't have space to bring them into the shed, because like I said, all our kit is kept in the shed, you know, all year. Even if we're going to have 2 weeks of this sort of weather, the kit's kept in the shed. So yeah, we haven't got a great deal to do now, so we'll just wait here to make sure Haylage is happy with the bit I've topped. Like I say, going round these fields, I do try and top the headlands, because it sort of comes out and then you get all the crap come out of the hedges. I mean, the cracking edges for wildlife, but it doesn't half encroach into the field. So you can see, I don't know if you can, but hay, and then where I've topped it, so 6 foot there has been topped, and then the rest is right, and it is literally because of brambles, not so much. The ferns that come out, and also another thing that we've had a mass amount of in the last sort of couple of years is that giant hogweed, and it's bloody horrible stuff, especially when you get it on you on a day like this, you're strimming or what have you, because it just burns and you blister up, and is not a nice thing to get anywhere near you. So yeah, that looks like he'll be going at his final pass now, then he'll come into this field and jobs are good. Right, ever so quickly, I'll just go through the tedder I'm using. It's a Massey 4-rotor tedder. It's a DT524DN, if you've got any of that with this wind. This tedder, as well as the tractor, were in fact supplied to us by the Evans brothers. I say, cracking bit of kit. They've been brilliant the whole way through everything, every transaction we've done with them. Brilliant company to work for. This has got it so you can do the headlands. It turns, it brings it all in for you, and then you can just switch the wheels back when you're in the centre, and it throws it out just brilliantly. So that's it. I'm only going to be quick because I've got a lot to do. The weather said bright, sunny all day, absolutely all day, and now it's overcast. It could be the heat or whatever that's made it be like that from the wet we've had. We have left it, so 8 o'clock, Haylage was in and he mowed. We've left it until now, and it is 1:15 to turn, because the ground was a bit wet. We wanted to leave it just because in between where it's been mowed, just let the air get to it and the heat get to it, and it dries it up a bit better. You don't leave quite so many marks. So we're going to get this going and get round the field and just start turning it out. Hell of a crop. We're hoping this field, about 5 acres, we're hoping maybe just over 500 small bales on this, just this field, and then we've got 5 other fields to do. Ever so quickly now, like I said earlier about the grass being cut with the conditioner. Now this is what you get. I don't know how it's going to turn out on camera, but it is, I mean, it's already absolutely bone dry and crispy on top, which is sort of what you want. You don't want it to dry out too fast, but that's how we're getting it. Obviously it's all crimped underneath, so it will need turning. Now this is the last field I've got to do today, but I can't see any green, which is going to make life easy. Just to show, there we go. So this was that over there now. If you can see that paddock there, which is sort of as green as they come. So this paddock here, that is the colour this grass was. And now the difference is monumental just from the conditioner. If we had done it with the drum mower, then it would have been still just as green and would take a lot longer to dry out. But with it being wilted with the conditioner going and crimped up, it's going to make the process a lot faster. So I thought I'd just show you that before I finish off doing this field, because tomorrow it's going to be a completely different colour again. So morning, this is the second day of making hay here with us at Sangor. First thing this morning, about 5 o'clock, there was a bit of a mist in this valley, and you know, probably only up about 30-40 foot, and then 5:30, 5:45, you couldn't see 10 foot in front of you. So we have got a seriously heavy dew. It's burning off now slowly, but not quite enough. It's probably going to be about lunchtime, 1 o'clock, when we can ted. I'm in a bit of a dilemma. We've got half the farm knocked down at the moment for hay, and it's all going to come nicely. Looking at the weather, we have got plenty of time, as long as it don't change. I could sound like a damn stuck record, but you know, the weather forecast in the UK, you don't know what it's going to be from one day to the next. Even if they tell you it's going to be nice, it's going to be naff. So I've got the rest of the meadows to knock down. I think I'm going to have to take a risk on it. It does mean we're going to have to bring everything in 2 days, which for us usually it takes sort of 5 or 6 days of baling, but we're going to have to do all of this in 2, which means some late nights. But then if the dew comes down, we'll have to stop baling and get them in, because the way we look at it here is if it's dry enough to bale, and it's dry enough to bring them in the shed. It's not, conventional bales are a bit different. I know there's some people that like to keep them out, and by no means at all is this me telling you how to do it. This is just telling you how we do it. If it's dry enough to bale and the bales are dry enough, they come straight in the shed. If they're dry enough, you haven't got the heat, so you don't have to worry about fires or anything like that. Big bales, you can make them a day or 2 early and leave them out for a week, let it rain on them even, and then bring them in, because they cool down, they sweat out in the field, and they can bring them in, which reduces your risk of fires dramatically. But yeah, the weather's changing again. I mean, it gave until next Saturday of good weather, and now it's given us till next sort of Thursday, which is still enough, but the crops are extremely heavy this year for some reason. Not a clue why, but they are very heavy. It just means there's going to be a lot to do. And I know that field over there, sort of behind that little tree line, is, I think it's 4.98 or something like that on the app that we use for the fields. And we had 580 bales off it last year. I mean, it was a very late cut. And if we didn't have the baler we have now, if we still use the Jones, which we still got, and two minds about selling it because it's been such an amazing thing for us, and it's the first one we got, the Jones Mark 10T, we wouldn't have done it. There's no way on this planet we would have been able to get it done. The 1840 just ate it up like it was, you know, nothing, like it was a real light crop. And we worked out the faster you go with it, the better it is. So yeah, now it's just a waiting game. So yesterday got everything tedded out. I'd actually tedded the first field again late on, probably finished at 5:30 because it was still about 22 degrees, which is warm enough obviously. I mean, it was really cooking, and the top was dry, and underneath was nice and enough to justify tedding it again. We'll get some more footage of the tedding. I know there was nothing, I just gave a little brief description on our tedder, but before we used that tedder we did everything with the hay bob. So the hay bob was behind the 135, and if we were to ted the whole farm, by the time you start and finish the last field, you had enough time to fill your water bottle up and then go and start again. Right, so the way we ted is we like to do it twice a day if we can. If the dew comes off, then we can do it twice a day, and just to keep it sort of fluffed up, not going flat out at it, not pushing it too hard, absolutely trashing the hay, but just lightly fluffing it up, because the amount of air that gets through it obviously helps dry it. Now I know there's people do it all different ways. I know of people that will knock it down and they'll leave it 2 or 3 days, and then they'll ted it and they'll leave it 2 days and rake it up and let the air get through it and then bale it. If you make hay, you make hay. It doesn't matter how you make it, as long as at the end of the day you got an end product, and that's hay. And that's it. If it's good hay, it doesn't matter. Everyone's different in the way that they want to make it. So I'm just letting you know the way that we make it. 11:30, and the morning dew so much is pretty much off, and I don't know if you're going to be able to hear me because all the tractors are a bit louder. The new tractor's turned up, absolutely cracking job, lovely wagon driver who dropped it off. First thing this morning he got a bit stuck, someone sent him in this Arctic down a drive that wasn't really even suitable for a car. The poor bugger got a bit stuck and all sorts of hassle. So first field getting ready to head now is dried off on top, absolutely lovely. Can't get over how fast it's dried. I think that's down to the conditioner, and we're on about 23-24 degrees at the moment. Oh yeah, a lot to do. I think it's 11:30 now, maybe 3:30 we'll finish heading. Yeah, there's a lot to do. I don't know if I am going to risk it yet or not, but we have got Haylage coming in, I think, yeah, tomorrow morning to knock down the other half of the farm, so there's a lot to do. Well, I said this morning, new tractors here, the 4255, better late than ever, I guess. Only problem is now, my dad has in fact got to do a lot of manufacturing on, well, sort of on the headstock of the loader, because someone has literally taken a gas axe to it and just completely made a mess, cut it off. So we've had to go down and get some 40mm steel, some steel bar. He's putting that on top. He's just grinding the top off at the moment, going to weld that on just so we can get the Euro 8 headstock to fit. So it's not a massive job, it's just one extra job that you don't want to get done. That's what he now unfortunately has to try and get sorted. We got a lot to do. So kind of made the decision in the end to get the whole place knocked down. So I've got Haylage coming in again today in about half an hour or so, and this field here, about 10 acres of real nice light grass here, and some cracking old lay, and it is as soft as they come. That I've got to do, and also this here, but this field here, let's get the light a bit better for you. This field here, before we bought the place, hadn't had a vehicle in over sort of 27-28 years, which was a pain because there's a huge open ditch going all the way down this side, and getting the quad bike in was hard enough. It was the old boy that used to be here, just the cows would just go backwards and forwards. There's one strain of electric, like I said videos and videos ago, going around the outside of the whole farm, and we put a pipe in and just filled it, but with a tiny little mini digger and with a big tractor. So a couple of years ago I mowed the place, the old T7 270 with triple mowers. The wheels are actually sat over the edge, and at the moment, as you can see, actually doesn't look that bad there, but you can't see the edges, and it is just straight down about 5.5 foot, and we don't really want Haylage toppling over, get his shiny green tractors all mangled up. So we're just gonna come down with the old bushwhacker, trim it up just so we can see the edges and get across safely. So that's the first job before he gets here. 5-minute job, if that, just to make life a bit easier so you can see. And yeah, it's opened it up no end now. I say, because this was done with a tiny little 1.5 ton digger, it was literally from where the pile of rubble was when we bought the place. Probably took about an hour to track it over here, then walk back, get an old dump trailer full of the stone, bring that here, tip it in, level it off, hour to just took forever. But we can actually get access to that field, which is the main thing. Obviously a small farm, you've got to be able to get every little bit off it that you can. And like I say, hay, 80% of our income, so you've got to get it done. And it was just docks. This field was docks and some real, like, just packed with thistles and this horrible weed grass as well that would just grow up sort of 3 foot in a week and then just fall over dead. And as soon as you've got that dead grass on the ground, the weed, it kills everything underneath, and then the weeds come up. But no, it's bloody stunning now. A lot of effort put into this field, and we have managed to lay 1 hedge. So this is the furthest point on the farm away from home. So there's a lot to do here, and but yeah, again, this is really lovely old lay, and it's not a massive crop. It's not a massive crop by any. Thought it was cut. We didn't actually graze it this year because we cut it so late last year, which I think a lot of other people did. It never came back, and all winter, you know, it sort of sat an inch or so, and if that. And there's no point putting the sheep on because none of this side is fenced. So the next job is to finish getting these hedges done and fence it, but cost and everything else. But yeah, no, the sheep never got across here because usually we electric this, and then that side of the farm's completely open up, so we have to let the sheep go out, reel in the electric. So we've got there 700 meters goes around that field, and then get it out here as quick as possible. You know, that's to section this field in half, you're talking 1,000 meter run, and then the other side, so the sheep could be anywhere, send the dog, bring them back, and then once this is grazed down, same process again. But right, I better get a move on because it's not going to be long before Haylage here. paddock out the front of the house. It's just, like I say, a few acres that we knocked down. We're going to do haylage on, and it's mown the same time as everything else, and it is pretty much there. It really is. It is lovely and green and soft but dry, and I know the people we sell it to here with horses, they prefer it drier than wetter, the haylage, and it is stunning. I mean, the heat we've had, I mean, I know it's overcast now, the weather did say that we weren't getting any clouds, but that's the Met Office and the BBC for you, absolutely useless. They said that we're getting no wind, but I can live with the wind. It does help get through it and dry it up. But yeah, this will be ready today. Nothing else is ready today, but this haylage will be ready today, so we'll be baling and wrapping this tonight at some point once we've got the rest ted. But we have got a lot to ted with a small tedder, so it's going to take most of the day. I was tempted by the 6-rotor tedder. There's a bit more money, but would have got the job done quicker. The only problem is we couldn't get it in the shed, because the big roller shutter doors where we go in and out with the hay, and once that's filled up to the front, we can't get anything in there whatsoever. And the 2 small doors on the side, we can't get the tedder in here. Back at the home farm we can get the tedder in there, but if we got more bales than normal, then the problem we're going to have is, once those bales are in, is also getting the kit in, and we leave nothing outside. Absolutely nothing gets left outside. So yeah, the six rotor for us would have been brilliant, but you can't get it in the shed. I'm not having it. Can't leave it out. We went with a 4-rotor, and we love it, especially the turning on the headlands. Bringing it in, I'll go through that later when I do some tedding, because I usually do twice, so 2 times we ted it. So it's either twice a day if we get time, or once a day. And what I try and do is bring it all in from the side, and then if I can do it again like that, it brings it right in, and then the 3rd time just leave it straight and just go around very slowly on the headlands, which just kind of flicks it out, but not right into the side, into the grass, into the fence, into the hedge, you know, just enough really, just enough to get it fluffed up and dry. It's not like silage when you can leave the headland row and just fly around. This is nice and steady, you don't want to be smashing your hay up too much.
That's halfway.
Yeah.
Right there. Rose.
Ever so quickly, I'm just going to kind of show you what I mean about bringing the headlands in, making hay. For those of you that do know, I'm not trying to teach you how to suck eggs, but just trying to make this video for everyone really, people that don't know as well. So here's the headland here, and there you've got the grass and the fence. As you can see, it is over here. So I brought it in because once you've first cut it, it's in about a foot, and then as soon as you go over it with the tedder, it's yeah, it's just thrown everywhere. So you can either go really slowly or bring it in the headland. So I thought I'd just quickly explain what that's all about. And like I said, twice I like to go around bringing it in, and then after that I just do the headland really slowly, and that seems to be enough not to chuck it out. I'm not gonna lie, if it does chuck it out, I do go around with a rake and get it back off the edges. A bit much, I know, but it's what we do here. A few hundred small bales done for haylage, and we've got a couple of trailers over by the wrapper now. So my old man's sorting that until I get over and give him a hand and just put the old baler to bed. I say everything goes in the shed. You know, small sheds, it's quite hard to see. It's going to go dark in a second. But like I said, there's not a great deal of haylage for us this year. Everything we've made so far has gone, which is a lovely position to be in, as I'm sure you can appreciate. So yeah, it's just getting on with this. There wasn't much videoing of the baling, but if you hang on, there will be plenty more. We also did one row round the hayfield next to the horse paddocks, just to sort of have a test, see what it was like. And yeah, one more day, that's done, and then another 20 acres tomorrow, and then that'll be done. And the new tractor that I showed you, I had the 4255. I'd finished doing the headstock on it. Well, there's the sun. And we got the Brown's flat 8 on there. We will have more videos of that. We didn't get any videos of this because we were rushed for time, because we got a lot to get done in the morning that's not sort of hay and haylage related. So this is sort of where we're at the moment. Just Okay, so we have a few thousand bales in, and we haven't got any footage of that yet, but we are going to do today because we have to get the rest in. It's just been a bit manic because usually in Wales, you know, it's split over a few weeks throughout the year that we get our hay in, but because of this good weather and the bad weather we had at the beginning, we haven't been able to do it, and time has been sort of against us, seeing that there's only 2 of us that do everything. So we've got a couple of things that need doing this morning. The 390 actually got a puncture last night at about 10:30 when we were loading bales, so that slowed us down, not having another tractor, but luckily we have Mike Richards coming in today. He's going to just quickly sort that out. We've got 80 on that trailer that's going out for delivery today. Obviously it's not going to be fed for a while, but that's going out. And then the 4255's down at the farm, and that's going to be maybe going on the bale if we can't get that sorted, but I wouldn't have thought so. I'm pretty certain Mike will be able to sort that tyre out in no time. And the 275, which like I said, we've actually sold, and the guy was good enough to say, oh, if you want it for if you want to use it while making hay, you can, which has been a godsend because it has been on the rake, staying on the rake. Plus, if we do have a problem, we with the loader tractor, because the battery light came on and a few other problems last night, then we can put it onto this old loader, which I think, I haven't got any numbers on it, but I think it's an old 880 or 830 loader. But going from using a joystick, which I've been quite enjoying, back to these 3 levers, it's going to be a bit of a nightmare. And the turning circle on this is absolutely useless compared to the 390 and the 4255. But I love this tractor, and it sounds as sweet as a nut, and it has never missed a beat, never let us down to this day. Right, better get these bales delivered then. So yesterday was a little bit manic. We baled a lot, probably more than we've ever baled in a day before, and we didn't get them all in. We finished at, oh dear, I don't know, probably about 20 to 2, because when we were bringing the bales in, obviously they were dry, and then the dew came in, and there's probably, you know, maybe 400 or 500 left, but they were just starting to feel that little bit damp on top. We thought we'd leave them out and get them in this morning before baling later again today, just so that this bit of sun, this morning sun, can dry the dew off and get them in. I know before I said it's nice if it's warm enough to bale, it's warm enough to bring them in, but yeah, we just didn't have time. We were going till quite late, and yeah, there's still a few bales on the ground, which is unfortunate, but it's not going to sort of get in the way of the quality of it. The quality's still there. It's just as soon as the dew has sort of come off, then we can get them loaded into the shed, which would be very nice indeed. And it is warm, 28 degrees already this morning. Yeah, no, that's looking good. Oh, that's very nice. Oh, thank God. The ones down on that bank might be a little bit damper, but we'll go and check. Oh, everything happened. It's all going with them. We had to go to a single rotor rake because a crop's been that big. The twin was just having mounds sort of like 4 foot up, and the tractor was rolling it over, and we haven't got anything on the front. Oh, cracking. to get it down. I know it's time to bring it in now. Can't leave this out any longer. Those ones down there. I'll work out how many packs we got. I know it's a lot. But, yeah, there's a hell of a lot to bring in. And then we still got another, I don't know, maybe 400 or 500 bales to do later. So I think it's going to be a bit more than that. Maybe 600. It's just where to put it now. We are definitely running out of shed space. Really running out of shed space. Yeah, I think it's time to get the tractor and start loading these onto the trailer, because they have definitely dried out with this this bit of morning sun. Like I say, it's 26 degrees it's showing already, and it's, I don't know what the time, it's 9 o'clock, something like that. So it's warm, it's very warm. it. All the bales are in. I didn't get quite as much footage as I wanted because we had a bit of a mad rush at the end. The 4255, as much as that is an amazing tractor, it is going back. We had problems from the get-go. We thought we could sort it. Turns out we can't. There's a lot of electrical faults. It's absolutely peeing out back end oil and engine oil. We just can't do it. I actually had a trailer loaded up and I was going down a bank and it just wouldn't, the splitter stopped working and then it just jumped into neutral and I flew down the bank. So that's going back. Luckily the company is taking it back and we are getting refunded for that straight away, which meant that 275 did in fact come in handy. I am so thankful to have that tractor still. We didn't get any footage, like I say, it was a mad rush. I just couldn't get time to get everything I wanted filmed for everyone to watch and get the hay in. We had some serious weather coming, I mean serious heat, which meant that the bales, if they were left out any longer, they would have been bleached, and between two of us bringing in, you know, 1,500 plus, I think, bales one by one stacked on the trailer and then stacked in the shed, it wasn't going to happen, unfortunately. So the 275 actually came into its own. It was fantastic. We got everything loaded up. We did is also, that load of bales we delivered, there's a young lad there called Nick who said, if you ever need a hand, just give us a shout. And we did actually have to give him a shout because it was just phenomenal, the amount that we had to get in the end. So yeah, no, great thanks to him. And yeah, here's just I guess a bit of a compilation now of everything that we've done, because there hasn't been a great deal of tractor footage throughout this, just been a lot of me talking, so I think I'll shut up now and let you see what we did. Apart from loading in the shed, didn't get any of that because of the rush. Thank you very much for watching, guys.